Welcome back, everybody. This week's video is going to be on 2 different Mexican salsas or sauces that you can make in your slow cooker. The first is going to be a green tomatillo based sauce that you can use on green enchiladas or enchiladas suizas, which are a regional green type of enchilada. You can also use that salsa just as a dipping sauce with some nice corn chips. And the second is going to be one of the famous platillos, the famous dishes in Mexico that we all love. Hopefully you're aware of it. If not, welcome to the club who loves it. Today we're going to be making a variation of the red mole. What is red mole? So mole is a very specific Mexican dish that's made with chicken typically, but what it is the sauce. Mole is all based from the sauce, and it's very iconic and also famous in Mexico because the sauce contains a little bit of chocolate. So today we're going to be making everything in the slow cooker in addition to our green tomatillo salsa. That's super easy to make, and we're going to be using some ingredients that are not traditional, but they're going to make a really tasty sauce that you can include and enjoy whenever you want. So let's get to the recipe. The beauty of these recipes is that you can dump all of the ingredients into the base of your slow cooker and let it cook on high or low for as long as you want. For the green salsa, you're gonna add 14 peeled tomatillos, ideally a little bit of washed because they come a little sticky, 2 Roma tomatoes, half a white onion, 6 garlic cloves, 2 seeded jalapeno peppers, or keep the seeds if you want the salsa really spicy, a handful of cilantro, a tablespoon of cumin, 2 cups of veggie broth, and salt and pepper to taste. You don't need to totally blitz these ingredients. You can roughly chop them because we will do the blending in the Vitamix. I let my tomatillo salsa cook overnight on low for 11 hours, and it came out really nice and smooth. The vegetables should be really well cooked. Once it's cooled off a little bit, I add all of the ingredients from the slow cooker base to my Vitamix, and then you will blend everything. This blending section is completely up to you. You can really make it as smooth or as chunky as you prefer. I like mine somewhere in between, and I like to do a little bit of taste testing as I go to make sure that the salt is good and it has really nice flavor. The tomatillo sauce can also be blended the day after. You'll have whole tomatillos, onions, garlic, so on and so forth. That can be saved in a container overnight, and you can just blend it to however blended you want the sauce, I suppose, because when you blend the tomatillo sauce, for example, you don't want to over blend it. You do want it to have some onion chunks here and there, a little bit of garlic, unless you want it completely pureed. Disclaimer, a little bit of this recipe I made before. So it's like a combination, it's a sauce of tomatoes, guajillo, and ancho chili peppers, all dried, that I've already sort of pre-blended. And the beauty with mole, if any of you are familiar with this kind of sauce, it's almost like a starter in the sense of you can use a previous sauce and then make more of that additional sauce of that mole with time. I just had a previous version of the salsa and I had frozen it, and I'm all about no waste. So I definitely thought, let's just kind of start with the base of this sauce. In addition to our sauce base, which is tomatoes, onion, and chilies with a bit of salt and pepper to flavor, which is kind of a basic salsa, we're going to be adding our true mole ingredients. Those of you who know mole will recognize. We're going to be using pumpkin seeds, raisins, and sesame seeds, but as a hack, I'm going to be using a tablespoon of tahini to flavor and also add fat to our sauce. Pepitas, or pumpkin seeds, are traditional to the southern regions of Mexico. Often the indigenous people of the Maya communities used pepitas in their cooking, and different moles incorporate this pumpkin seed into their sauce. So we're going to be using that today. In terms of spices, we have coriander seeds in addition to half a star anise. We're going to be using cloves. You can use whole cloves or ground cloves, and some cinnamon powder. Chocolate. There's a lot of like commercially sold Mexican chocolates at the store. Use whichever one you prefer. This is actually, let me double check, Ibarra chocolate powder. You can buy the big tablets. I like Ibarra because they are a Mexican brand. I'm pretty sure that Abuelita is made by Nestle and they're like a Dutch brand. If you're loyal to specific brands, just know that this is like information that might be useful to you, but regardless, we're gonna be using Ibarra today. You can buy the full tablet and just use half of it, or use a 1/3 cup of the powder. And last but not least, traditionally in Mexico, the bread that we eat for tortas, a bolillo, which is like a sandwich bread, that's what you would use in this sauce, a stale bolillo. But I don't have that today, so I'm gonna be using whole grain bread. That's stale. And then you cut it up, you just tear it up into little pieces, add it to your sauce. And that'll thicken it up, in addition to all of the wonderful fats that we're including. So assembly, as usual, is incredibly easy, and we will be adding everything to the slow cooker, cooking it on low for 7 to 9 hours, and then blending in our Vitamix to have the smoothest, easiest, most luxurious mole you've ever made. So let's get to that section. The assembly of our mole is super easy because we're just gonna dump all of our ingredients into the base of our slow cooker. I have a little bit of that pre-made salsa, but no worries because everything is in the description. Add those coriander seeds, star anise, raisins, cinnamon, tahini, pepitas or pumpkin seeds, your spices, the chocolate, and that stale bread. I like to just roughly chop them all up, and then you will set your slow cooker. For these salsas, I like to cook them on low, anywhere between 7 to 11 hours. This is completely up to you. The only thing to be mindful of is that it doesn't run out of liquid if you're going to cook it for a longer time. If you're short on time, you can cook it on high for 5 to 7 hours. So whenever you're making a salsa, either the tomatillo salsa or the mole salsa, all you need to do is blend the sauce when it's done cooking in the slow cooker. For the mole specifically, don't even worry if you do what I did, which is basically when it's done cooking in the slow cooker, you take the salsa and put it into the refrigerator overnight. I did this because I was particularly busy. I basically just blended the sauce the morning after, and it's perfect and ready to go. The final step to your mole salsa is to add all of your sauce ingredients from the slow cooker and then blitz them. I like to blend first on low and then on high to make sure that all of those pepitas, all of those spices are really nicely ground. It's not the most appealing sauce to pour, I'll give you that much, but mole is supposed to be thick and you're supposed to thin it out with a little bit of veggie broth or water. Thank you so much everyone for watching the video this week. I really hope you enjoyed these 2 Mexican salsas you can make in your slow cooker. If you haven't already, be sure to like and comment on this video and also subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.